This is Jack Fishman behind the camera speaking with music director Sebastian Langlessing about the final program of his first season. We're going to end with Richard Strauss's also Sprach Zarathustra, a great virtuoso showpiece for orchestra. Tell us about Zarathustra.
First of all, also Sprach Zarathustra is a novel or an essay by Nietzsche, a philosopher who is maybe one of the most misunderstood philosophers in the world. Especially this very piece, also Sprach Zarathustra. It is not so much about the Übermensch than about how small we are in relation to the bigger picture, and therefore, especially in the turn of the century when all the extremes of ideologies came up, and I think there was a lot of misinterpretation of this piece, which is not so important for Strauss' tone poem, because he sets it in a very, very clear way. It has this gigantic start that almost has a Star Wars quality in terms of opening for a great movie, but it very soon comes to that point where everything crumbles, and this gigantic idea or utopist idea is going to be destroyed. Therefore, it's very philosophical piece, because it works in this dialectic way. You come with a statement and then you destroy it to finally come to a third conclusion. And the whole piece is constructed that way. So it starts quite gigantically on this low C, which we hear from the organ, and it builds up to the most gorgeous melody Strauss has ever written in the middle. And the piece ends in the conflict of the note B and this C that still hangs over. So the piece doesn't resolve. It ends with a pizzicato, the low C, the lowest note the double bass can play, which is not a resolution to what we hear before, because the whole harmony hangs on B natural. So this conflict shows that at the end of the day there is no solution. There is no final answer to anything. Also, I think a very philosophical approach. Interesting to set something complex like this piece in also Sprach Zarathustra into music. I wonder what Strauss would have done with Karl Marx' Das Kapital. I mean, that would be quite an interesting approach too, to see how to set that in music. The interesting thing is, I think you don't have to know also Sprach Zarathustra, the book, to understand Strauss's piece, because it's so colorful. In terms of orchestration, one of the most colorful pieces ever written at that time. Really, it shows off all types of the orchestra. The strings are divided into many parts, so you don't hear just only first and second violins, but even the first violins are divided into many parts. So are all the different string sections, and it leads to the fact that almost every player plays a solo role at some point. And that's the same for all the instruments in the orchestra. Let it be each of the clarinets, the bass clarinet, the E flat clarinet, the second clarinet even, or the first clarinet. Every single player in this piece has his own solo role. Also an interesting approach when it comes to this philosophy, that every individual counts, but only when it leads to the bigger picture. And that is also quite phenomenal in this piece. So yes, there is philosophy in that piece, but it is also an absolute piece of music that you can enjoy without understanding the philosophy. But I think by listening to the piece, Strauss explains his view on Nietzsche in a very humble and a very modest and easy way for us, which is, I think, quite phenomenal. So it's really a piece to enjoy on all levels.
Sounds like a perfect ending to what's been a very successful first season, June 3rd and 4th.
Thank you very much.